Okay. Same here. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to TriggerTalk, your place for everything first-person shooters like Battlefield, Call of Duty, and so much more. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, and as always, I'm joined by Sammy Boy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. A little down in the weather right now. Under the weather. Down under. I don't know. We'll see how this episode goes. But we're going to be talking some Battlefield 6. This is our first episode talking about it since it launched. Going to go over our thoughts, impressions, how we're feeling about it so far. So let's jump right in. I was telling Sammy, it's been a little bit of a crazy week for me. But I did get some time to
say the least.
Yeah, to say the least. My wife and I manage a little motel by the side of the road. It got run into by a truck. Half of one of the buildings got destroyed. My car got backed into, and then our actual house, some bricks fell off. So we're really vibing this week.
Yeah. Just a normal, casual, chill week by the sounds.
Oh yeah, you know. But did get some time to decompress, play some Battlefield. I've probably, I didn't get a whole lot. I maybe got 6 to 10 hours. But differently than I would expect you have gotten to play, Sammy, I played almost exclusively the close quarters combat rotation. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I figured you would go on the big scale stuff. I wanted to bring a little bit of a different perspective here. So I figured we'd divide and conquer. You've been playing a lot of Battlefield, I know for sure. But how you feeling about it? What do you think?
I'm loving it, man. It's it just feels so good.
Would you say we're back?
Yeah, we are. I hate the how easily that gets thrown around for so many games where there's just a slightly better game and they're that happens every year with COD. It's just 10% better than the last one and they're like, oh, we're so back, and I'm like, well, not really. We're not back. But I genuinely can actually say that this time around we are back to I'm not going to say peak Battlefield because I still, it's hard to compare to the actual peak. But man, it's as close as I feel like we can really get from where we were. I think maybe if the next title can grow on this one, then maybe we can be looking at GOAT category. But who's to say this game can't even get there after a live service as well? Because we haven't seen that side of it too from Battlefield, where they're not trying to fix the game; they can actually improve it now. So in a year from now, what's this game going to look like if they actually do that same level of improvement that we've seen with 2042 and Battlefield 5? Then yeah, we could be talking this could be one of the best, if not potentially the best Battlefield by then. But yeah, it just feels so good that we're in this spot. It kind of felt like it couldn't happen, if I'm honest. But probably before I played the game earlier this year for the first time, I was like, oh man, I was excited. You know me, I'm a positive guy, but I was like, I just don't think we can ever be back to where it was. But I'm happily eating my words right now.
Yeah, this is very exciting. I would even go to say we are so back. We've gotten like you're saying, there's potential for this game to be a 10 out of 10. I've been seeing a lot of reviews and a lot of things come out, and it's hovering. What was it, an 80, 83 on Metacritic? I would say that's incredibly accurate. Sometimes Metacritic's a little bit of a miss, but I feel like that is incredibly accurate.
Yeah, when you take into account the campaign, and then it isn't flawless. It does have little issues for sure. It's got some issues around the gunplay and stuff like that, even some of the movement, which I think the movement's not, it's being overblown online, but yeah, there's little flaws with it, so it's not a 10 out of 10 for sure. It's got stuff they can improve on, but yeah, 83 for a multiplayer shooter is actually pretty damn good, especially when you account for the fact the campaign is not great, which gets taken into account with the scoring. So you're potentially looking at if the campaign was a banger, we could be looking at an 88 89
Oh yeah,
Metacritic.
I feel
score,
like
which
a
is
lot of
insane.
the kind of like lower test scores were because of that
Yeah.
very lackluster campaign.
Yeah, which is fair. Like it to me, it's such a small part of the game that I almost don't even account for it in my scoring. If I'm going to give the game a score, I'm not really including the campaign. But it is a package, and for a lot of people, especially like the casual player base, which is the majority of the players, the campaign's always a big part. So I think that's fair to like knock some points off it. And the thing with the campaign, they can fix that over time if they decide to like polish it up a little bit. I think the actual bones of it was fine. It was just like so unfinished that's where the issues were more so. Like the story's not phenomenal or anything, but yeah, I think they could actually come
pretty
and do
generic war.
Yeah,
right.
That's pretty much. It's like a COD campaign, really. It's just kind of like epic. Like there's an issue in the world.
We do war, boys.
Yeah, we got to go shoot some people and like. Yeah, it has some cool moments. Some of the set pieces are really cool. There's some moments where it's like, you kind of like, damn, that is sick what just happened. But then the other parts are so jarring that, yeah, it does take away from it. But I don't really want to, like, focus on the campaign, to be honest, because it was never, even if it was a 10 out of 10, I'd just be like, yeah, well, I don't really care that much. Like, it's not why I'm buying the game. So I sort of did my review on it, and then I haven't really thought about it since, to be honest.
Yeah. When you're looking at the multiplayer aspect, how are you feeling? Because we just talked about the single player campaign, obviously. When you're looking at the multiplayer, one of the discussions we had from the beta is like, okay, here's some of the maps. How are we going to feel when all of them are out? Does it feel like a complete game? Do we have a good variety of experiences? I will say a lot of the criticism I've seen has been around the leveling system being too slow and grindy. And then the other thing is the maps not necessarily being as like fully featured as a lot of Battlefield players want it to be. Thirdly, and I want to talk about this more specifically later on, is the map rotation. But when you're looking at like the multiplayer experience, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think overall, like pretty much everything you said, I would pretty much agree with. I think that's where an 83 out of 100 sort of comes in. It's overall really good, but there's just those little issues that are sort of holding it back a little bit at the moment, which I think is just to be expected, really. You're never going to get like a perfect shooter. I think the main issue for me is still around those things that we've sort of been crying about for years, like like you said, the map rotation. I am kind of sick of playing Liberation Peak over and over. Even though I don't hate the map, it's probably one of my lowest ranked in the game, but it's still it's fine. I don't hate it. It's just the way that they handle that, and the way that they don't seem to understand why we want like persistent like servers, like official servers and stuff. They don't seem to grasp the idea. I see them still. I saw Westy tweet, and David Serlin was replying to it like, it's pretty much saying, you can host your own server, right, and you can get the maps you want, and it's like that isn't not what we want.
That's not.
We don't want that.
That's a band-aid over a freaking massive wound.
And also, like Westy can host that because he's got a massive audience. Like Joe Blow can't host a server and expect it to fill immediately and get exactly what he wants and get a good variety of players in there and stuff. Like it just doesn't work like that. So those little things, they're like the main issue for me, I think, is just server browser is still not where I want it to be. There's still no like genuine persistent servers to the extent that I think we all want them to be, where my thing is like, I want to create a server in Portal that's just, say, vanilla Conquest that's just exactly the same rule set and maps. But I want, if they're going to have the quick search option, people in Australia who just use quick search for Conquest should be able to fill into my lobby. Mm-hmm. That is what we want. That is, I don't know how they don't understand that. It's like they separate the two things and then they're like, well, people will join, like just create your own server and people will join. But like the casual players don't. And so then it's not the regular experience. You're getting people that's like, it almost makes it feel like SBMM sometimes, because the only people joining a lot of these types of servers are like hardcore players. We want just everyone in the world to be able to join our server. Well, not in the world, because obviously ping regions, but like, yeah, I just think there's issues around that little stuff that I'm kind of like, it's not game breaking. I can find games at any point. I can use quick search, or I can join a portal server. It all works technically fine, but it's not, it's just kind of frustrating. They don't understand, despite us like saying it for years now. They just don't seem to understand that. Or maybe they do and they're just purposely not doing that. I don't know, but yeah, just little things like that are really my only issue. Everything else feels really solid to me. I think that I definitely overreacted with the beta maps. Like, I was definitely sort of saying, oh, these are a bit too small, even though we've been whinging for small maps for ages, but it felt maybe they were all small. But no, I think the variety so far at launch seems really good. The weapon selection, it feels like there's a lot of just very unique weapons from each other. I think, like you said, the progression's probably the only other part where it is a grind, which I get. They want people to stay, you want to have something to play for. I get that, but it's like too much at the moment.
Yeah.
And realistically, that shouldn't be. Yeah, there should always be that progression to the game, but it shouldn't be like the selling point. You need the game to be good, so they shouldn't be going like, oh, but if everyone unlocks all their guns, they won't want to play. Well, if that's the case, like, the game isn't as good as you think it is. If the only reason people are playing is to achieve things rather than just simply having fun, I should be able to just have every gun unlocked right now and still be addicted. Whereas they seem to think that isn't the case. Where like, once I unlock all the guns,
if they get all the guns, why would they keep playing?
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't think will happen with this game. I think I'll be playing this until it's done. Like, I can tell you that right now. It's fun enough that if EA like whitelisted my account and just maxed me out on everything, I wouldn't be like, oh well, I'm done. Like, I'll just play it once a month. Like, I'm going to be playing it every day. Like, doesn't matter what attachments and stuff I have. So I do get the progression side of it. I do prefer when you actually have to like progress through the game and stuff. But I think it's just a bit much. It's like, yeah, you can even do like proper bot farming and it's still slow.
Well, that's the thing of like, I'm not typically someone that like is obsessed with like leveling up everything in all aspects of a video game. But this level is like making me not want to do anything at all. Like, it's making me not interested in it in any aspect. Like, when I was playing Halo Infinite and I was going through that and I was getting into the competitive scene, like, that was something that like, okay, I'm going to do the process of leveling up, going through the battle pass, leveling up my weapons and all that, getting all the attachments, blah, 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 like all of that experience kind of stuff. And it was enjoyable because there was a good level of effort to reward. And I just don't think that they've nailed that in Battlefield 6 right now. A lot of the times it's like, man, I just have to do and the reason why they have this is to switch up your gameplay, is let you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Okay, your rewards are going to be this for these weapons, and you're going to have to play a little bit different to go get these rewards. Like, that's the benefit here. But if it's gotten to the point where like you're now kind of just not looking forward to doing a specific task or challenge or anything like that to level up your weapons and get the attachments that you want to unlock the other weapons, I think that's where you're really kind of like falling down here.
Yeah, I think I actually really like the way that they've sort of done. It's not just all tied to your level. It's like you get to level 23 and then it's like, all right, now there's a bunch of challenges to get the different weapons. I really like that because I think that's where the monotonous side of it can come in, when it's just like, I'm just out here to get XP. I don't care about anything in particular. I don't care about wins. I don't care about kills. I just want to farm XP. That has sort of ruined previous games for me a little bit. So I like that there's kind of like, all right, you've done your general leveling and now you've opened it. It's like an open world game. You do the tutorial, and then it's like, all right, now you're free to explore the world. I kind of like that. I think in some cases it's like wild what the challenges are. So like the final sniper, you have to get, I think, 150 kills with a sniper, or headshot kills, I should say, from 200 meters away, which is insane. Like, I don't know if people understand how far that is. That is that is nearly half a map. You have to be sitting, like on Operation Firestorm, you could be on the top of the tower and you'll have to be sniping people borderline in the spawn 150 times. That is
crazy.
Absurd. So some of them are wild. Some of them are fine. I think some of are really, they're actually kind of fun. It's kind of like, I don't know, just get X amount of kills with a weapon. And I'm kind of like, all right, well, I haven't been using this weapon, but now if I want to get this next one, I've got to use this other weapon I just unlocked. So perfect excuse for me to sort of try out new stuff. I think those ones are fine. But when it's like, when it's too much, I think, yeah, it's kind of wild. Even if you go and, because you can complete some of these in like pretty much in bot lobbies. And I've done that, and it's even still hard. Not hard, it just takes so much time. It's like I'm playing against bots, and I'm still grinding. So like, to the people who just do it in multiplayer, man, you might be looking at like months until you get some of this stuff unlocked, which I just think is kind of, it's too much to where it almost does the opposite of what they want. Where I get that they want people sticking around, but if progress is so slow, like, people don't stick around. Do you know what I mean? That's why I say this is one of the hardest things about like losing weight is it's a slow process. So it's like real hard to do it. If you could just lose weight immediately, everyone would be in shape. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
It's like it takes years to get in really good shape, and it's for a lot of people, they just don't have that time and that perseverance, which is understandable. And that's for your health. This is for a video game. Like, it's not as deep. So it's kind of like there are going to be a lot of people who go, well, this game's pretty fun, but man, that final unlock, everyone's killing me with it. It's so good. I am nowhere near getting it unlocked, and I feel like I'm at such a disadvantage. And I really do think a lot of the casual player base will sort of struggle with that. So it has that other effect where instead of keeping people hooked, it actually can deter people and go, I can't keep doing this for months just to unlock that gun. And by then there'll probably be a new gun that's even better and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely needs to be some balancing there. For like, there needs to be a good process of, okay, I'm going to put in the effort and I'm going to get this reward. And like, I like that they've kind of taken it away from the specific leveling, but I kind of miss it a little bit at the same point of like, okay, let's get this, let's strike this balance a little bit better, right? Come on, let's try this.
Yeah. Even though I'm fine with it for weapons, I think maybe they should have just tied weapons, like weapon unlocks, to the classes, and then maybe like some of the gadgets, or I don't know, just some other stuff that's not as important. Because like realistically, weapons are like the most important part of the game. Doesn't matter what. If there's like a god gun, it doesn't matter what class you're playing in stuff. Like, that gun is better than everything else. So yeah, it's definitely a balancing act. And realistically, every game kind of has this issue at launch. I feel like it's pretty rare that a game, outside of probably COD, I think COD actually does that really well, which is probably part of why it's such a popular game, is that, yeah, the progression does feel really good in that. It feels like you can fly through levels in that game and like kind of get stuff done, which to me is way more enticing when you can log on for a session and be like, all right, my favorite gun is level 10. I want to get it to level 50. And you put in one session and you get it to like level 30. That just feels really fun. And you get off and you're like, man, I got so much progress done. That was really fun.
Yeah.
And you want to, the next day you're like, man, I can't wait to get back on and, get it to level 50. Whereas I've been doing like, in any time where I can't actually play, for example, like super early in the morning, but I'm up before work, I will sometimes do the whole bot farming thing. And man, it's like I'll put in a half-hour session and my gun level's up like twice against bots, and I'm like, what is this? Like, I've just locked in for a session and I've got 2 weapon levels from it. Like,
Dang.
it's kind of mad. So yeah, I'm sure that they will change it. I'm pretty confident. Like, they've been actually really responsive straight off the bat to, like, there's been little issues here and there, and they've already done a few hot fixes. They hot fixed the movement. They hot fixed. I don't know if it's live now or if they said they're adding it soon. But there's that sort of bloom issue at the moment, and they said that they've sort of figured that out and they're hot fixing that. So it feels like they're on top of it, and I'm sure they're probably internally discussing. All right, everyone's complaining about the progression. Like, let's make some changes, and yeah, as long as they just keep on top of it and make a change. If it's still too slow, just make another slight little change. Like, eventually they'll get it right. It's just, yeah. My main thing really for them is I just hope that they keep listening and implementing change. And I feel like that can't end badly. Like, the game's bones is so good that if they just, any little issues we have, and they don't have to do everything we say, by the way, but like, if they, you know, say the open weapon thing, they clearly haven't listened on that, and I think I'm fine with that. If that's what they want to lock in on, that's fine. But the other little issues, if they just keep listening to us and fix this stuff, then I just feel like it's just a recipe for success. It's already in a really good spot, and then they can just keep improving it like that.
Oh yeah, like they've been really quick with getting fixes changed, and like the communication has definitely been on point, so that's good.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to talk about, we mentioned it earlier. I feel like this is the clearest example, and we've talked about this. This has been in Battlefield Labs. This has been a discussion point that we've talked about on the podcast. The community's been talking about it. Is the want that EA and DICE have in controlling the experience versus what the player wants, which is to control their experience. Those two things can live in harmony, as we've seen in past Battlefield games. But the last two, this one and 2042, we've seen DICE want to control your experience to the point where it takes away. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the map rotations and the lack of persistent servers like we want them to, the reliance, the over-reliance, in my opinion, on Portal to just kind of like I said earlier, put a Band-Aid over a gaping wound. Like, this is the amount of times I've just been on the same map doing the same thing. And this is not just like, I've only been playing the close quarters combat stuff, and it has been the same thing there. I just think is very, very interesting.
Yeah. That's the number one thing that I'm so shocked that they don't get it. And I'm so shocked that they don't just revert to what it used to be. Because that used to be so good. The way that they used to do, I used to love that when I was sort of balancing between COD and Battlefield back as like I don't know how old I would have been, but back in like the Battlefield 3 and 4 days, right? I always was like, man, you can pick your own server. That is so good. You can't do that in COD. Like, it was awesome. And for whatever reason, they've just like gone away from it. And obviously the server browser is still there, but it just isn't exactly as it used to be. So it's not quite the same. And it's not a huge, they've caved and put that in the game. So why not do it how we like? They're adding something that we want. So why not do it how we want it? Do you know what I mean? If you're gonna try and please the fans, do it the whole way. Don't just like slightly do it. So yeah, I don't know if they'll ever fix this. I feel like it's just
I think they're gonna keep on tweaking it to hopefully. I don't think they're ever going to change it to like we want it to be changed. I think they're just going to constantly be getting this feedback, and they're going to constantly getting changed. Like the frustration that I think many Battlefield fans are having with this experience is realizing, and it's the same with the menu systems, it's now the same with kind of like the map rotations and how they want to take away that experience. And like with Call of Duty, they did it so like gradually over the last maybe 6 to 8 years of taking away that control. And you didn't necessarily have the greatest amount of control in Call of Duty, but the difference between Call of Duty and Battlefield is Battlefield has historically always had a level of control where you get to play the game that you want to play. And you get to select the maps, you get to go to the servers, you get to see that experience. And I feel like Battlefield has just turned it off. Like they went from a bit of control to no control, and they didn't lead us the way there. And I think Battlefield 2042 is the big problem here, which is they took everything away. We didn't have a freaking leaderboard. Like, that's how much they took away from us.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to this point where we don't have a level of control that we want and, in my opinion, need to have in Battlefield. And I feel like they're going to continue fighting to keep the control away from us. And like all of the problems that we're currently facing would have been fixed with a proper server browser where you get to be like have a level of control over the experience in the game. And the way that they've set up the browsers in the background and the servers in the background is just not very conducive to good gameplay. Like if you want to hop in and like you said, like hop in and play the same map over and over and over again. That sounds like a great experience to DICE. Like, boom, yeah. There you go. I don't understand why this is such a difficult thing for them to let go of, considering this is a new thing that they've gained control over.
Yeah. It's the most confusing thing to me out of the whole game. It's kind of like what has caused them to sort of act this way, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's, very confusing situation that I don't... Say with, like, the open and closed weapons, I sort of get their stance on it, whether I agree or disagree. I get that they're like, this allows for the best playable experience for the players. You can access everything. That's kind of what you were saying. Like, they make this the game that we can play how we want, even not only with the classes, but with now open weapons. With Portal, you can literally create your own maps if you want. They're allowing us to play in any way that we want, except in the way that they operate the server browser. It's just a very strange situation that I do not understand. I'm not sure I ever will, to be honest.
Yeah, I hope it's something that they get past, but I don't expect it will be something that we ever see them kind of like go of again now that they've got it. On the note of like open versus closed weapons, which again, I hate that wording. I think it should be classic Battlefield and unlocked weapons. Like that should be the wording of it, because it puts a negative connotation when you're like, oh, these are the open good weapons and the closed evil weapons. If you click closed weapons, and it was the kind of problem that we talked about on the podcast, is like separating the player base. If you click closed weapons, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer than if you click open weapons. The power of defaults is strong.
Yeah,
and
it's insane.
If you're going and saying, I want to be committed to the Battlefield classic experience of I want weapons locked to classes, you have to be really committed, because everyone else is just pressing the button of get me in the game.
Yeah. I think it's a weird situation. I have gone back and forth on this pretty much since they first talked about it, because initially I was like adamantly for closed weapons. I was like tweeting about it and stuff, which, you know me, I don't really engage in, discussions on Twitter, because it's just not, it just doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I was like adamantly, nah, you got to close it. We're going back to old school Battlefield. You want it to feel like old Battlefield, you need to close it. And after playing it, I have slowly come around to where I think I'm much more in the open camp. I'm not like so adamantly either way. Like, I think if they right now just made it closed, you wouldn't see me being like, oh, this is stupid. Like, I don't really care. I personally think it makes less of a difference than I think most people have made it out to. I think the issue with it with 2042 was mostly that the game sucked. If I'm honest, it was the specialists. It was the all weapons were kind of beamy as hell, so it almost like didn't also matter what you were using at time. Like I just think there was a lot of reasons it didn't work in that game. Whereas I personally feel like it works fine in this. And I've also noticed, ironically, that not all the time, but most of the time, probably like 60 to 70% of the time, whatever gun I'm using, I'm kind of pairing the class with that you would if it was locked anyway. So, ironically, when I'm sniping, like I've been sniping a lot in this game because my god, the sniping is phenomenal. It is like, it's Battlefield 1 levels of good, in my opinion.
Oh, I haven't tried the sniping yet. This is exciting.
Oh, dude, it's good. It's the feeling of getting a headshot is up there with Battlefield 1. Like it's so good. And anyway, I've noticed that like I've just kind of been picking recon when I snipe most of the time, which is unlike me because I always hated that. Like I loved sniping, but I was like, man, I don't really like recon. Doesn't really do anything for me. But I've been running around with like C4 and a drone and a sniper and just having a blast. So it's funny that like I'm so adamantly for open weapons, and yet most of the time I'm still sticking with it how it is meant to be. But I think the thing for me is that I like that when it's not working for me or when I just want to change,
you have the option.
I can do that. Yeah, I think that's what I like about it, is that kind of like what you said, where like we want to be able to play the game that we want. And I like that I can do that and be like, all right, well, I'm sniping, but man, no one on my team's healing people, so let me just play medic and snipe still. I kind of like that I can do that. And I do think that some of the proficiencies and stuff are enough that it is still pushing me to use the right thing. So like if I'm playing engineer, it is worth using an SMG because you get that hip fire bonus. So I'm kind of like, all right, well, I could use an assault rifle here, but man, this SMG bonus is really good. So I don't know. I personally think it's in a decent spot. I do have some issues around assault specifically. I just think that class is dumb as hell. But yeah, I think overall I'm still happy with it. But I do get the other side of the story too. I'm not like one-eyed on this thing. I'm not like, oh, you're all wrong. You're all dumb for thinking it should be locked. Like I can completely see the other side of it too. And like I said, if they changed it, I'm not going to be kicking up a stink about it. I'd just be like, yeah, personally wouldn't do that myself, but it's fine and I'll keep having fun playing. That doesn't really affect me too much.
Yeah. I've been trying to commit to the I'm pro closed weapons, mostly just my view on it is like I like when Battlefield has an opinion, and I feel like games are better when they're opinionated, and having closed weapons is opinionated, and I feel like it adds to the experience to get it that way. The problem is the way that it's built into the game just is not good. Like they do not let you, like they make you feel that it's not the way that they want you to play. Again, similar to the kind of the map rotation side of things. Like they want to force you into a play style in Battlefield. But going back to like the map rotation and back to this kind of like level of control that they want to have versus the player, I do think that if they were able to give players more control, it would be ultimately better for all of the players. And like you're saying with kind of closed versus open weapons, like I can totally see like you do have a benefit of playing a specific way. I've mostly been playing Assault like it's playing Assault, or if I'm playing support, I'm playing it as support. So like it gives you the opportunity. It's not like forcing you to kind of switch up the like classic class styling. Like it's not. It supports you in that way. I just wish it was a little bit stronger. I do want to talk about Assault because I think Assault is like the worst class in the game in terms of like what it needs to do. I hate that I can't just like I'm not going to be using the weapon sling at all. Like, I've been using assault, and I've been using just the one weapon. I wish I could just not have the second weapon. Like, I don't want that as an assault feature.
You can. I only just figured it out. You can select a gadget. Like, essentially, you choose either the weapon or the gadget slot, and then it opens up the gadget. So you can do that. I didn't know that initially. I thought that you had to have the weapon sling, because I was like sick of running out of ammo and stuff, and that's why I didn't play assault. I was like, what the hell? I'm not having less ammo. That's dumb.
Yeah.
But it's just a jumble of a class, in my opinion. It's the COD player class, which I get. They're trying to get everyone to enjoy the game. It does nothing for the team other than now the spawn beacon, which in my opinion is just thrown there to do that. It's just like, well, this class offers nothing to the actual team play, so let's just give them one of the most important freaking things that has always been recon, and it was like recon's main thing to me anyway. I'm shocked that it's like saying, well, engineers are a bit underpowered, so let's give them the defibs instead of support. And you'd be like, what? That is literally the point of support, is to heal people and revive people. So why would you take that away?
Yeah.
So, because to me, recon, obviously it means reconnaissance. So it's like having a spawn beacon to get behind enemy lines and get that info.
Makes a lot of sense.
You're sneaking behind people, you're spotting people. That is what that class does. Now without a spawn beacon, I'm like, what is the point of recon? I can still spot people and all that, but like, I can spot people with every class. It's like, I don't know. It just taking the spawn beacon away is so dumb, and also their logic behind that. Right? This really baffles me a lot. They said publicly, I can't remember which devs. It might have been Kevin who said this. I'm not sure, but it was like, we don't like that people will sit up in a really like annoying spot with a sniper and be able to spawn on their beacon. And so like, even if you kill them, they're just back up there. That's annoying, right? We all know that when there's a sniper on like a Liberation Peak on a mountain, and you're like, oh, this dude's doing my head in, and he keeps spawning up there. My least favorite thing ever. Yeah. And I understand them being like, we don't want that to be a thing. Unfortunately, you will never, with a spawn beacon in the game, you will never not have that. But they've changed it to assault, right? To stop people doing that. It's open weapons. Like, I can I can pick a freaking sniper and the shotgun.
So good of a point.
It's if you're gonna do that, if it was locked classes, I'd be like, fair enough. That's what I was just
saying. Like, this is the thing. Like, you either have an opinionated game and you make that choice where you say, hey, we don't want this to happen, or you open everything up, you take away that opinion, but you can't complain. Like,
yeah. That's the thing to me. If the weapons were locked and they said, we're doing this to stop that, I'd be like, all right, I actually am fine with that.
That makes sense.
Now I can do the exact thing you don't want me to do,
just with a different class.
And if someone pushes me, which was always the negative, if you're sitting on a hill with a sniper with a spawn beacon, you've got a pistol, right? So if someone pushes, if I get sick of that dude and I push him, I'm sorry, I'm killing him. Like, there's no chance he's killing me with a sniper. Now he's got a shotgun in his back pocket. Like, so I push him and I think, oh, nice, I'll just get rid of this guy. And then he's gone. I get up there. No, he's got a shotgun or an SMG in his back pocket. And I'm like, and he's killed me. And I'm like, what the hell? I've just run up that mountain for 3 minutes. Finally got there. And I think I'm going to get a kill to get rid of him. No, he's just completely deleted me. So that decision to me is like, just absurd. Again, if it was locked classes, I think that's actually an understandable take to be like, we don't want snipers doing that. So now it's assault. Now you can only use the spawn beacon to be aggressive. And I'd be like, yeah, I actually don't mind that at all. But with open weapons, it doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of what I mean about that class being just a jumble of, it's a mess. It doesn't feel like it knows what it is. They're trying to still figure out assault, which, yeah, I understand it's meant to be like the lone wolf type of class. For me, they shouldn't have a class that's lone wolf in Battlefield, in my opinion.
Well, all
If
the
you want to
devs
be a
are
lone
like,
wolf,
hey
just play
guys,
your
remember
medic.
PTFO? It's like part of the experience that you have as a dev team is like whatever outcome you want to have in your game, like you support it through the decisions in your game. So if you
Yeah.
want to play PTFO and you make the default class the assault, the lone wolf thing, you're kind of making the default experience everyone fighting for themselves.
Yeah. I just think there will always be lone wolf players, which is fair. And to be completely honest, I'm often that. I do play the objective, and I usually play engineer, but I am the type that I just sometimes love running around like an idiot, shooting people. Like that, it's a game. It's fun.
It's mostly what I've been doing in
war.
close quarters combat.
Yeah. So I get it, but people will find their way to do that anyway, which has primarily been the medic class, like because you can heal yourself and stuff. So people are going to find the way to do that, to dedicate a whole class to that, where that class is now only useful to people just trying to farm kills with a shotgun and an AR. But then also the medic class can still do the lone wolf thing, which they wanted to get rid of, to like make people, revive teammates and all that. You can still do that. You can still be a lone wolf with a medic, and now you've wasted a class slot on a lone wolf playstyle anyway. So to me, they need to really redefine what assault is. I think it should be the line breaker type of role, where playing breakthrough, like they're the ones who are throwing down smoke. They're the ones who they've got their grenade launcher. They're trying to break down the walls to get in there in modes like rush and stuff. Like that should be what that class is. The kind of the send it class. It's like, all right, we need to get in here. I'm picking assault. I'm just
guns blazing class should be kind of the more defining aspect.
Yeah. And sort of focus their gadgets around that rather than just, hey, you can have 2 guns now. Which I look, to a certain extent that is part of it, because you can push into a building with a shotgun and then like you've got an assault rifle to help for longer ranges. I get that is part of that, but I don't know. For me personally, I just think delete the sling. I just think it's dumb. I really hate it that I can have an SMG and I see a dude with a LMG, right? So I'm like, I can get close to him and I'll win that gunfight. And I get up close and he just pulls out a shotgun. It's like so annoying. There's no readability around it. There needs to be a way to actually see when someone's like via their silhouette or something that you can see they've got 2 guns. So at least you don't get yourself into those situations. Because the amount of times I die like that, where I don't know what they have, so I'm pushing them. And then, what do you know, they've got freaking 2 guns. So it's like, I can't win. Can't beat them at range, can't beat them up close. If they could make that more readable, I think that could maybe fix it. But I just personally think just delete the sling.
Yeah.
Put that in the Battle Royale. We can have 2 guns in the BR, that's fine. But yeah, I just don't like that. I think it makes people sort of invincible in some ways, where you kind of have no weakness. If you're running an assault rifle and like a shotgun or an SMG, you don't really have a weakness, especially like a sniper and a fast rate of fire assault rifle. You literally have got super long range, medium range, close range, all sorted.
Yeah.
I just think that's too much personally. And then that in combination with that, the spawn beacon change. I just that class needs a complete rework in my opinion. How they do it, I'm not fully sure, but I think most people seem to agree that like assault is just it's a bit of a mess. It just doesn't really have any cohesion. When I pick engineer, I know exactly what my role is. I'm there to take out tanks. I'm there to heal my team's tanks and all that stuff. When I'm medic, my team is to revive and heal people. I don't really know recon anymore because they took away the freaking spawn beacon. But I do get that is still, it's meant to be reconnaissance. You're meant to get information. You're meant to be a bit stealthy. You're meant to like push behind enemy lines and stuff. But with assault, I straight up don't know what that role is other than play Call of Duty. Like I'm out here just trying to farm kills, which to give a whole class to that is just overkill in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't get it. Again, they opened up this can of worms when they had the open weapon system. Like it's harder to address problems like this with open weapons. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is a consideration they have to make when you go down this route. Switching gears a little bit, have you gotten to play the campaign?
I have. I played it just before the embargo dropped, just to make sure I could get a review out. So yeah, pretty much I finished the whole thing in a day. Actually, I just locked in. I cleared a day for it and just played the whole day pretty much.
How long did it take you? I've heard it's pretty short.
Yeah, it took me maybe 4.5 hours. It's about, or maybe even a bit less. It's 9 missions, and each mission is roughly half an hour, but there's one, I think, that was like only about 15 minutes. So I'd say, 4 hours, 15 minutes roughly is what it took me.
Okay, that's nothing.
Yeah, pretty damn short. It's probably, I'd say most COD campaigns, for example, are usually 6 to 7. So it's like a fair amount shorter, which I didn't care about because I'll be honest, even before I knew it was bad, I was like, I just want this done.
It definitely seems like an afterthought. This 100% is, hey, we had a team dedicated to this. We don't have that team anymore. What can we do?
Yeah. I think it's straight up like they said it was having a campaign, so it has to have a campaign. That's how I sort of see it. And look, it's not terrible to the point of oh my God, I can't believe they wasted their time on it. I think it's fine. It's got some really cool moments. The missions are fairly memorable. I actually look back on them and go, damn, that part was really fun and stuff. But it's just it just lacked any form of polish. It was clearly not finished. That's my main sort of issue with it. Yeah.
Okay. It's definitely something I want to dive into, but it's low on my list because it's not. I mean, I'm here for the multiplayer, and I've been really enjoying the multiplayer, and it's something that I'm going to continue enjoying. So we'll see when I actually get to it. I do like that once you're done with it, it prompts you to delete the aspect of the campaign, so you save a little bit of storage. So that's been that's actually a nice little piece.
Yeah, I actually forgot I haven't done that yet, so I need to clear some space because I definitely will not be touching that again.
Yeah. But I think overall, really enjoying Battlefield 6. Looking forward to diving into it. I think we've got a good starting point for a Battlefield game, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild that we're here on launch week still technically, and I'm not oh man, this thing needs to be fixed. There's little things that of course need to be fixed, but the worst thing we've got right now is that there's essentially a little bug with the gunplay to do with the bloom and stuff like that. That's pretty much the main issue. The issues we've said about map rotation and stuff, I think sucks, but it's not game breaking at least now. Maybe down the line, because after 6 months of playing the same freaking maps, maybe I'll be getting really sick of it. But I would honestly, the game's enjoyable enough right now. I'd play just the same map over and over for weeks. I'm still having enough fun that it doesn't really matter at the moment. But over time, I'm sure it will wear down on me a little bit. But yeah, it's crazy that it's launched and there's nothing glaring that is in need of fixing, and we can just have fun, jump on, have a good time, and in less than 2 weeks, 12 days, I'm pretty sure, the season 1 starts. That is
which is crazy.
We just got the game, and now it's pretty much less than 2 weeks, and we're getting a whole new map already. 3 guns. I don't know if all the guns drop at the same time or what, but yeah, we're getting a bunch of new stuff already. And then 3 weeks after that, we're getting another map and more weapons. That is wild. So it's kind of an unfamiliar Battlefield game. It's just weird. It's crazy. We're actually getting what we wanted. This is what we've been asking for. We wanted a return to old school Battlefield. I think for the most part we've gotten that. We wanted a better cadence of content. At least now we're getting that. Whether they can keep that up for a year, that's a different question. But I don't imagine they can't. I don't imagine they'd send it this early on the content and then just have no plans for continuing that. So if they can keep that up, man, 2 maps a season, which they seem about 3-month seasons, pretty much a map every 6 weeks, and then 3 to 6 weapons per season, that's really good. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm looking for stuff to complain about. I want to nitpick now to like get all the tiny little issues gone, because we could be, like we said at the start, we could be looking at a borderline 10 out of 10 Battlefield in a year from now. It's like why we need to keep on their back about the little things, because if we can iron out all the tiny little stuff, it seems so negative, and I think a lot of people probably get annoyed by it, which I understand. But man, if we can just like nitpick and get it even better, dude, we could be looking at, like, this could go down as the best Battlefield. I really do believe that. Whether it does is a different question.
Well, we had always said if they could release a game with like an 8 out of 10 and support it to a 10 out of 10, like that would be the ideal situation, instead of like they've done so far, which is release a 6 out of 10 and get it to an 8 out of 10. Like, this is exciting.
Yeah, it's crazy. And isn't it funny how like that is what we have been saying, and we weren't wrong. Like this is what we asked for. We asked for just a stable launch of a really decent game. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not perfect, but it's really fun. Everyone's enjoying it. It's broken records on Steam and stuff. Like, it's doing really well. And now they're in a good spot where they don't have to be like, oh, damn it, this thing's busted. We got to fix that. We got to fix this. Oh man, what if we delay season 1 to get all this stuff fixed? They don't have to do that. They can just straight up do their plans, which is just a refreshing change. Like, I'm just so excited. It's crazy to be really excited about the future of Battlefield again. Like, I'm so keen to see, like, in 6 months what this is like. We'll have, in 6 months, we'll have an extra 4 maps probably. We'll have an extra, like, 12 weapons. Like, it's crazy. Crazy times. I genuinely didn't believe we'd get back here. It's such a happy feeling to just be actually surprised and be like, damn, they actually cooked.
Somebody cooked here.
Yeah.
It's shocking, really, like that we've gotten. I mean, it's ridiculous that it took them this long to get to this point. Like, you didn't have to take so many learning opportunities, and I'm going to use that word specifically. You didn't have to take all of those learning opportunities to get to this point. I mean, I'm glad we got to this point, but like 2042 didn't have to release without a scoreboard to get here. Like, that's not necessarily a moment for learning that you have to have.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think also adds to the satisfaction. It's been a long ass road to get here, so it's like, I think if Battlefield had just been cooking this whole time, we probably would like take this for granted a bit. We'd be like, oh, this is really good, but like, who cares? You know what I mean? Whereas now I think we all sort of appreciate it more. I feel way more appreciative that they've actually gotten it back. So obviously, like you said, I'd rather that have not happened. I'd rather the last 2 have been really good, but this is the situation we found ourselves in. And it does definitely add to the satisfaction that it's taken so long to get here.
Yeah. It's good to be here, though. It is good to be here, and I'm really 100%. Happy with Battlefield 6. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube, or contact@uplinkpodcast.com. If you're listening to this wherever you find podcasts, check out Sammy Boy's YouTube channel. He's got some great content going out over there. And if you're into Star Wars, check out Star Wars Uplink. As always, we'll see you later, video gamers.